Good evening. Thanks for joining us. 500,000 barrels of crude oil per day by year 2020. That's NPDC's projection, and the company is on track to hit this target, working collectively around the clock. Plus a newly introduced strategy which we shall discuss in the details. It's looking first to do 300,000 barrels this year and then raise the ante from there. Exploration will make this possible, not invention, which belongs to the days of small beginnings, and that's what NNPC is promoting with the Invented Build It initiative, giving out engineering scholarship to 21 girls. It's a journey we need to trace and track together. Plus, NNPC is asking the Onoja sisters to go for more tennis laurels. Inspiration and motivation rolled into one. More support is being given to the National Oil Company's 12 business focus areas. We're glad you could join us. I'm Akin Agbejule. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
NNPC is done very well around the country. I think we seem to forget, the kind of shortages we have with petroleum products. You have them very often now. You don't have them. Look at the funding that we have attracted for, AKK. Look at the almost investment decision that is being taken around the LNGs.
No panic to buy fuel for black market. NNPC go bring fuel for all motorists.
NNPC say them get fuel jabrata for ground. Saboteur. All of una wey dey thief with fuel and petroleum station wey dey hot smuggle and divert our fuel go neighboring country. Plus people wey dey build small tank and sell fuel pass our government price of 145 naira per litre. Stop am o. Because why? Na big offense now. Na jail straight away. NNPC say our government no increase fuel price, na still 145 naira per litre. So therefore, no buy black market, no do panic buying. Enough fuel dey wey go round. Nigerians, if you see any petrol station where they sell fuel pass our government price of 145 naira per litre, kia report to the nearest security agency when near you or the Department of Petroleum Resources. Na Ndu Ohamado, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, NNPC, sign this message.
Here's introducing some of the stories. NNPC's flagship upstream company, the NPDC, to hit 500,000 barrels per day target by 2020. Remain determined and focused to make the country proud. That's NNPC's charge to the Onoja sisters, young shining light to the tennis world. App1 and NPC Invented Build It initiative have 21 girls receive Dr. Barrow's scholarship awards. Details are on the other side of this break and your regular segment.
President Muhammadu Buhari said that Nigeria could consider a reduction in crude oil production in support of efforts to shore up the price of the commodity. President Buhari spoke in Abuja when he received the special envoy of King Salman bin Abdulaziz, custodian of the two holy mosques, and Minister of State for African Affairs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mr. Ahmad Kotan, at the State House. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Garba Shehu, quoted President Buhari as saying that as a responsible member of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC, Nigeria was willing to go along with the Saudi initiative in limiting output so the prices would go up. The statement said the President wished that there was no need for cuts because of Nigeria's large population and the need to secure more money, adding, quote, "I wish we can produce more," unquote. However, he assured the envoy of Nigeria's support for the initiative, saying, quote, "I have listened carefully to the message. I will speak with the Minister of State for Petroleum. I will call for the latest production figures. I know that it is in our interest to listen. We will cooperate." President Buhari explained that higher oil prices will make both nations stronger and their citizens more prosperous. He commended King Salman for his leadership in global oil matters, assuring that Nigeria will continue to accord respect to the kingdom in that regard. The special envoy said he had brought special greetings from King Salman and the Crown Prince and expressed their best wishes for Nigeria. Mr. Katten said the important reason for which King Salman sent him was to make a request to President Buhari to ensure Nigeria's compliance with quotas assigned in January by exiting previous exemption from output cuts. He said his country had reduced its own output by 1.4 million barrels per day to ensure that prices went up, stressing, however, that Saudi Arabia alone cannot bring stability to the oil market and shore up prices.
The Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE, has commended the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, for its exemplary role in the advocacy of science and engineering-based education for the girl child through support for the activities of the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN. Engineer Adekunle Mokolu, President, Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSC, stated this in Abuja while receiving NNPC's management led by the corporation's Group Managing Director, Dr. Mekanti Baru, to the headquarters of the society. A release by NNPC Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Uhamadu, said the NSC president disclosed that by identifying with APWEN in its quest to engender a sound foundation for female engineering professionals in the country, the corporation was taking a step that will invariably illuminate the nation's engineering and technological landscape a few years from now.
The GMD of NNPC, Engineer Dr. Baru, FNSC, is a worked example of professional development capacity and a worked example of how things can be done for the benefit of the citizens and especially mankind.
Responding, the NNPC GMD said the visit was part of the corporation's strategic stakeholders engagement with professional bodies with which the corporation shares common goals of championing Nigerians' march towards strengthening professionalism, capacity development, local content and industrialization. He noted that the NSC has over the years continued to play a pivotal role in transforming engineering profession in Nigeria.
NNPC is a very professional organization and we strive for excellence in all that we do across all the disciplines that are required in an industry. And engineering continues to be the largest collaborator or input to our works and processes.
The NNPC GMD also said the corporation would continue to identify with NSC's resolve to groom professional engineers as well as promote and entrench engineering excellence in the country.
No fewer than 21 girls have received scholarship awards by the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN, in conjunction with NNPC in the first tranche of the scheme by the group. The scholarship, which was born out of the desire to get more girl child into the engineering profession and honor distinguished engineering leaders from the different zones of the country, was initiated by the association as part of its Invent It, Build It initiative held last year in all geopolitical zones of the country. Speaking at the occasion, NNPC Group Managing Director Dr. Mekanti Baru, who was represented by the Executive Director Support Services, Nigerian Pipeline and Storage Company NPSC, Alhaji Kabir Ahmed Yakase, asserted that no nation had become powerful and developed without the development of STEM education, saying, quote, "Science is life, STEM is economic drivers, and engineers are problem solvers," unquote.
These girls that are being awarded scholarships today will be encouraged and motivated in the study and pursuit of a career in the fields of sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
He observed that the study of STEM required students to be diligent and have an eye for details, stressing that they must possess the ability to multitask, of which the females are known for. The GMD stated that he looked forward to seeing them work in big organizations like the NNPC that engages thousands of professionals, some of whom are scientists, engineers, and technologists, emphasizing that they must, however, take education seriously from primary to tertiary level and get engineering degree at the university. On 9th of February 2019, the Emir of Miso Emirate, Bauchi State, played host to dignitaries from across the country who witnessed the presentation ceremony named, quote, Engineer Dr. Mekanti Kachala Baru Engineering Scholarships for Girls, unquote. In all, 21 girls drawn from original 100 finalists were presented the award at the event in the presence of their parents and guardians. The scholarship covers their academic journey from primary school to university level. Earlier in her address, APWEN President Engineer Felicia Agubata recalled the journey so far from the launching of the Invent It, Build It on the 21st of April 2018 at Serki Amadou Primary School, Miso, and the efforts of the association in ensuring girls not only study science but also choose the E in STEM engineering. She praised the NNPC for its roles directed at addressing gender imbalance in engineering and also towards ensuring that the girl child go all the way in practice.
It gives me immense pleasure to be here again to fulfill the promises made by our great association and our partners, sponsors, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, to our daughters. We are here today to present 1 year school fees to the winners.
Part of the schedule of the event was visiting Serki Ahmad Primary School, where APWEN is presently constructing an ultra-modern science and technology laboratory named Dr. Mikanti Kachela Baro Science and Technology Laboratory. The inspection teams were delighted at the progress made at the site of the science laboratory in this school, which has reached 70% completion, and urged the school management, teachers and pupils to make the best use of it to maintain and preserve it for the upcoming generation. The Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, the flagship upstream company of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NPC, has expressed its readiness to meet the 500,000 barrels per day crude oil production target by 2020. NPDC Managing Director Mr. Yusuf Metashi made this commitment in an interview with the Oil and Gas Forum crew in his office in Benin, Edo State. Mr. Metashi said NPDC was working collectively round the clock to see that the company gradually moves towards 500,000 barrels crude oil production by 2020.
The GMD's target for NPDC is achievable, that we can deliver 500,000 barrels by 2020. And we are working round the clock to see that we set up all the strategy.
He stated that the company had introduced the asset management team based on the mutual agreement between NPDC and some of its partners under a simple framework to jointly operate assets such as oil mining lease OML 42, 26 and 34.
For 100% asset of NPDC, we want every asset to move from dismal production they are to a minimum of 15,000 barrels.
He disclosed that NPDC equity production target for 2019 across all asset portfolio is 300,000 barrels per day, and the equity gas production for this year is 1 billion standard cubic feet.
What comes to NPDC as equity production globally across all asset portfolio is 300,000 barrels per day. And then if we can take our equity gas production to 1 BCF, that is the target we are looking at across all assets for NPDC in 2019.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC Group Managing Director Dr. Mikanti Baru received 2 tennis young stars in his office recently, admonishing them to remain determined and focused to make the country proud by winning more laurels at the national and international fora. Neku Onoja and Iye Onoja had visited the GMD during a special session of the Top Management Committee TMC meeting at the corporation's headquarters in Abuja recently. Dr. Barrow said he was delighted to receive the duo because they represent the future champions of the country.
12-year-old champions. We are champions, and what NNPC is going to do is to ensure that this your talent that God has given you and the dream you have of beating Serena, God will see you through.
The GMD assured the Onoja sisters that the NNPC would continue to support them to actualize their potentials. Other members of the NNPC TMC urged them to continue to dream big and work towards achieving their aspirations, stressing that they should remain humble and prayerful going forward.
reinforces the emphasis on the work they've done, is that they've managed to maintain a balance with the academics. The fact that they're still outstanding students is extremely commendable.
Wherever you find yourself, whatever you do, no matter how many gold medals are around your neck, never forget to be humble, because it is out of humility that not only will you serve your God better and learn more, but it is what will propel you, because you'll now be working to excel.
I can see a lot of potential in these two girls. So I wish you all the best in your future competitions.
First, you have to have the dreams, and that dream must be big, and then you must be willing to learn.
Parents of the tennis champions, Mr. and Mrs. Ibrahim Mondi Onoja, who were visibly elated, appreciated the management of the NNPC for encouraging their daughters to excel in tennis, assuring that they would continue to mentor the young girls to realize their dreams in the game. 16-year-old Neku, who started her tennis career at 6, has won several laurels, and her kid sister Iye, who is 12, has also won several national and international trophies in tennis.
Nigerian State Oil Company (NNPC) has organized sensitization sessions for its staff aimed at sensitizing its workforce on the impact of the application of Systems Application and Products (SAP) for data processing to boost operational integrity and efficiency. NNPC introduced the package in the corporation's work process close to a decade ago. Mr. Mohammed Issa, NNPC's Deputy Manager, Center of Excellence, Information Technology Division, who spoke during one of the SAP Reloaded program for staff of the Group Public Affairs Division at the East Center of the Corporation in Abuja, stated that the session was organized to sensitize members of staff on the impact of some of the modules in SAP. Issa explained that the session would go a long way in boosting staff efficiency and ensure that NNPC remains a going concern.
It's going to be the impact on the staff, their activities, the way they do their work, and on the processes themselves.
Adawari Jumbo, who was one of the resource persons at the session, said the SAP model being introduced would reduce several cumbersome processes of the workflow to a level that would add more value to NNPC's operations.
All the 17 steps we have reduced to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 17 step currently that is happening in NNPC is reduced to how many steps? 5.
Some members of staff who participated at the workshop shared their experiences.
Everything will now be automated, so it's going to save time. It's going to be more transparent. It's going to give us more time to do other things.
The procurement model actually is quite exciting because it's relevant to what we do. And at the same time, it's going to automate the entire processes, thereby reducing the paperwork, and it's going to make our work more efficient.
This was quite exciting because for anyone who has a vested interest in NNPC, in the success of the NNPC story, seeing us taking steps to become a world-class company is something that is a reason for joy.
The SAP data processing software is adopted by most global oil and gas companies to improve efficiency, enhance data integrity, and to automate its processes.
Good evening and welcome to the feedback segment of the program. I am Julia Auta. Crude oil is an important resource that has become the lifeblood of so many producer and consumer nations. Today, crude oil is the main foreign exchange earner for Nigeria. It is against this background that our camera is on the streets to find out from Nigerians if crude oil were found in their village or community. What will they do?
Actually, I will be very happy, and I can see my village also happy with me, and I'll be very glad.
I'll tell the government so that development can come to my village and my community.
You know, it's a natural resources that is profitable to the nation.
So even if the federal government is going to come in to take over the place, at least there's going to be compensation for it, and it's going to be a win-win for everybody. So I'm going to be happy about it.
Actually, what I will do first is to call the agency that is in charge. Then they will come. If they can be able to be producing it, then we negotiate. After the negotiation, then we give them the condition. If the condition is okay for them, then they can go on.
And actually, crude oil is national asset, so it's not belong to anybody in the village. My first action is that I should call maybe the councillor that is very close to me and inform to him that this is what is happening around the village.
I will call the government to come and set some refineries there so that people in my village will also get employed and other youths will also get employed too.
I'll be happy for those that can benefit from it, because definitely it's not everybody that will benefit from it. That's the truth.
If there is any discovery of oil in my village, yes, let them exploit it, but they must give me my own share of it, which is oil block.
Interesting responses, you would say. Well, I wouldn't mind if crude oil is found in my village as well. And that's all we have for you on this segment. Please stay with us for the rest of the program.
Hello and welcome to this segment of the program. My name is Tola Bobwade. Did you know that a drilling rig is a machine that creates holes in the Earth's subsurface? Drilling rigs can be massive structures housing equipment used to drill water wells, oil wells, natural gas extraction wells. A drilling rig small enough to be moved manually by one person is called augers. The major components of the rig include the mud tanks, the mud pumps, the derrick, the draw works, the rotary table, the drill string, the power generation equipment, and auxiliary equipment. Did you also know that a drilling rig is a drilling unit that is not permanently fixed to the seabed, which are drill ship, a semi-submersible, or a jack-up unit, and it's also used to drill a well bore? Now you know. Please stay tuned for the rest of the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices hovered close to 2019 highs in the course of the week, bolstered by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC-led supply cuts and U.S. sanctions on Venezuela and Iran, but were prevented from rising further by slowing growth in the global economy. International Brent crude futures were at $67.20 per barrel, 12 cents or 0.2% above their last close and not far off their 2019 peak. U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures were at $57.39 per barrel, at 23 cents or 0.4% above their last settlement and close to their 2019 highs of $57.55 reached the previous day. Analysts said that a global economic slowdown was preventing prices from surging beyond their highs reached this week. Despite the slowdown in economic growth that emerged in late 2018, oil prices have been driven up this year by supply cuts led by OPEC. OPEC, as well as some non-affiliated producers such as Russia, agreed late last year to cut output by 1.2 million barrels per day to prevent a large supply overhang from growing. Another price driver has been U.S. sanctions against oil exporters Iran and Venezuela. The main factor keeping oil prices from rising even further is soaring U.S. oil production, which rose by more than 2 million barrels per day last year to a record 11.9 million barrels per day. The swelling output has resulted in rising U.S. oil inventories. And that's about the size of Global Crude Oil Outlook on this edition of the program. My name is Solomon Yopave.
He has done very, very well, and I travel a lot, and there's no part of this country where I don't go because of this my job, and there's nowhere we cannot find fuel, and he has done very, very well. I wish it will remain there forever.
That's been all on Gas Forum. We hope you found the stories very exciting and fresh. Make the week profitable. Bye now.